Greetings everyone. I thought I'd go over this in this training video, how to resolve tickets, how they're created, and primarily the purpose of this ticketing system. I encourage you to watch this video as many times as you need to be able to go through all the examples that I'm going to show you. When everyone is confident on how they've been trained and things like that, I will automatically have the tasks start showing up in the system. But right away, it's just primarily going to be for training. And if you're watching this video and the system's already been implemented for a while, you're going to start to see these tasks automatically created. So first of all, we had, previous to this, a book that kept by each week the daily tasks. Also, we had a monthly task list. A lot of those things would either get lines drawn through them or just not worked on because they didn't understand how to do it, things like that. So we developed a better way of going about training and making sure that the tasks get done at the front desk. So it had really nothing to do with the fact that you guys didn't do your job. It's just this is a better way to make sure that all tasks get accomplished the way that I desire them to be done. So in this video, at the very top, you can see where my cursor is here. This is the login. It basically says you've logged out. And if you click in login, you might want to check to make sure that the password and username is still the same. But at this point in time, it is BPI service. SERVICE, and the password is Ben Rocks. Okay. Once you log in, click OK. You're going to see a new page that shows up. And it's very, very basic. There's no information that's in here at all. There's billing. There's a couple main things. There's billing main, ticketing main, reports, tools, help. Primarily, the only thing that you're going to be doing is clicking on ticketing main, which is located up here. Whoa, there's a whole bunch of information. Don't overwhelm yourself. After you get familiar with the system, you will see that, oh, this really isn't a lot of information. On the right-hand side is something called Brookpoint Guest Services. That is the only thing that you should concern yourself with. Ignore the help desk, ignore maintenance, and ignore WJM documents. The only thing that matters is Brookpoint Guest Services. So when you go in here, you click on Brookpoint Guest Services. Once you do that, it says that I have 14 tickets. Now, everyone has the same login, so it's not like first shift will have a different login than second shift. This ticketing screen will pretty much be up all the time. If it's not up, you'll have to log in with that. And we'll set up some default browse in the browser so it'll automatically pop up. You might just have to put in the username and the password. But anyway, as you can see, there are 14 tickets sorted by the oldest at the top. The oldest ticket always needs to be worked on. Okay? Unless you're going by the priorities that I have established in the email that I sent with this. Priority number 1 is voicemail from customers. Most important that we get those responded to within a few minutes of them leaving that voicemail. Number 2, reservation changes or confirmations. Previously, it would take us 2 days to a week before we'd respond to a customer on reservations. I am expecting a reservation confirmation change to be dealt with within approximately 30 to 60 minutes, no longer. Followed by the daily checklist items, and then followed by the monthly checklist items. You're not going to really notice which one is which, but you will start to develop and see that there is a pattern. Because, you know, it says make coffee for the day. That's obviously a daily item. But there's some things like cleaning woodwork. That's obviously a monthly item that only shows up occasionally. Anyway, so the first one I'm going to click on is I'm going to click on Reservation BPI 138200. If I click on that, you're going to see quickly that the ticket's going to pull up. It says it has a whole bunch of information in here. Okay, anyway, so you'll see this is the ticket number and this is the subject line. So it's like an email system and ticketing system combined. The basics, it just talks about the status is new. Okay, there's nothing really here that you need to worry about. Customers, there's nothing here you need to worry about. Reminders, there's nothing here you need to remind yourself with or deal with. Dates, All that this is, it says when it was created and when it was last updated. That's all it is here. People, it talks about all the different requesters. If one particular person sends in multiple tickets, it will group those things together, and you're actually able to click on the people and see all the different other tickets that they might have sent in, the reservations and stuff like that. But we actually use our own reservation software to be able to track those type of things. It talks about this person, all the different things that he's come in, links you don't have to worry about. Then you boil down to history. Depending on the type of ticket, it could have a lot of history, and it could go down and go down and go down and go down. But this one is not this way. So as you can see, Wednesday, December 26th, 11:54, 2012. This person sent in an email to reservations@brookpointinn.com, bkmock@juno.com. Dear sir and madam, because of the snowstorm in Cincinnati, it looks like we'll be unfortunately able to be there tonight, December 26th. I realize that you have a 36-hour cancellation policy, but it's beyond our control, and we'd like to be there the evening of the 27th. I've tried called you, but after advertising announcements, I only receive a busy signal. Well, that is part of the reason why we moved to this ticketing system, is because we were experiencing a lot of downtime with our internet provider, and so our calls would just say, hey, it's busy, so it's going to this voicemail. Now it's going to go to a voicemail. I'll explain that here in a little bit. So in this particular thing, there are a couple options here. There's reply and there's comment. There's forward. If I'm going to respond to this person, I would click on reply. When I click on that, there is a couple options here. The status is open. This is the owner. Don't worry about that. The update type is reply to requesters. Subject line is this. One-time CC is this. It's blank. One-time BCC is blank. Anyway, there's mute resolve. Don't worry about that. Attach. Don't worry about that. You'll see the message down here. See where I enter this information down, and then with my enter key, I come back up here and I type in. Let's see. The name is Brian. Thank you for your email. This has been taken care of. We hope you stay with us again in the future. Happy New Year. Sign your name. I said Ben. Okay? Now, if this is one particular email, which there's no reason that this issue cannot be resolved at this email. There's no further follow-up. There's nothing else that needs to be done. If they're changing something with the reservation or something like that, you are able to resolve this ticket if you have actually resolved the issue with the customer. If it is still a pending issue and you're just communicating with the customer, that's a different scenario. But this particular one, it's going to be resolved. So if up here in the status, you will see open, there's new, open, stalled, resolved, rejected, deleted. You don't have access to do a lot of these things, but you do have access to do things like resolved. When you click on resolved, and this says update type reply to requesters, it's very, very important to really look at this and pay attention to this. There's comment and there's reply to requesters. Those are two different things. So if this is an email, and if you just click on comments and you put this, it will not, I misspelled Brian. There we go. Anyway, if you click on comments and you type in this email, and you come down and click on update ticket, I can tell you right now, Brian will never see this email. He will never know that you took care of that issue for them. So sometimes you're going to comment on it, and sometimes you're going to reply to it. If this is an email, you're always going to reply to it. If this is a voicemail, you're going to comment on it. Okay, and I'll show you what the voicemail looks like versus an email. And I'll give you some exact examples between the two. So I'm resolving this. I wrote my subject, or I wrote my text above this information. Okay, and you can put in here the number of minutes that you spent on it. I spent 5 minutes on this. Okay, easy enough, right? Good deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click up update ticket. When I update the ticket, it now says message recorded and ticket number 40666 status changed from new to resolve. That means I sent an email. If I scroll down to the history now on this ticket, you can see this is the first thing that he sent to us. This is our response. You can see the dates, the times. Then at January 2nd at 17:10, it says it changed from new to resolved. And on January 2nd at 17:10, it says RT System itself sent an outgoing email with the comment recorded. So what that means is it sent them an email that says, hey, got you taken care of. You know, it basically sent them this information. This ticket is now, if you look in the basic screen, says resolved. It was open before, but now it's resolved. So if I go back to ticketing main, which you're going to click on this button a lot, click on ticketing main, you will then see Brook Point Services. If I click on that, there are now 13 tickets. There was 14, but now there's 13. Okay? So anyway, that is an email. That's what an email looks like. And if I click on, see where it says 41184, new message 1, mailbox. By the way, if you try to pull up these same numbers will not be in your queue because they're going to change every day as people resolve them, and they will just start disappearing. So new ones will be generated. See where it says new message 1 in mailbox 574-457-4517? That's a voicemail. See where this one says new message 1, mailbox 457-4517? That's a voicemail. This one was from 6 hours ago. This one was from 26 minutes ago. So this one is very possible that this is a real email. These other ones here are tests. So I need to go through here and check this out here in just a little bit. But this is a test one that I put in here. So I'm going to click on this ticket. You can see the basics. Its status is open. Okay. This says, Dear U4 VoIP customer, a message of 8 seconds long was left in your mailbox. This message was, here's the actual caller ID number that this voicemail was left from. So if you hear a voicemail and they did not leave the phone number that they called from, you have it. It's right here. Taken care of. Easy, simple, Japanesey. This is when the Wednesday, January 2nd, 2013 at 11:16 a.m. when was the voicemail done. So that's that. Okay, I'm going to move this over here so you can see it a little bit better. But if you also see, it says message body not shown because it is plain text. But you see where it says download message 0001.wave. If I click on that, it's then going to pop up and say, hey, what do you want to do with this sound file? I want to open with. I click on that.
Hi, this is Bob leaving a test message. Please email me or resolve this ticket as soon as you get it. Thank you.
Okay, so now we got a voicemail from Bob. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, so it's there. And technically, let's pretend that this was just a simple message that says, hey, I just want to know if I'm still available to come in tonight and swim. You would pick up the phone and you would call that message. Obviously, Bob did not leave a callback number, so you would call back at this number and say, hey, Bob, yeah, you can come in and swim. No problem. And Bob says, great. Have a wonderful day. So at that point in time, what you're going to do is you're going to come in here you can either reply to it, you can comment to it, whichever or. That's one way that you can get to it. So let's just keep it simple, which is what I like to do. I'm going to click on reply, okay? And once I do that, I can then come down here. I don't have to reply. I'm going to comment. Remember how the voicemail was comment? I'm going to click on comments. I'm going to come down here and say, called Bob back and said, sorry if you see some things down in the bottom right-hand corner on the screen. That's my email client that's sending me some emails. But anyway, called Bob back and said he can come swim. Done. Okay. So you click on comments. You're going to change the status. It's either new, open, or resolved. Not any more complicated than that. That's the type of ticket it is. So if I click on resolved, you can click on the number of minutes worked was. Let's say I spent 3 minutes on that. I scroll down here to update ticket. This voicemail, now quickly, you will see, has been message recorded. It says ticket number 41145, status changed from open to resolved. I now go back to ticketing main. I come down here to Brookpoint guest services. Now I have 12 tickets. Simple as that. If that email or if that voicemail is not resolved, do not resolve it. Put a comment on it and say, hey, so-and-so called. I've been working on this. I talked to him about this, but I can't proceed on resolving this voicemail because of X. Okay? So if the voicemail is not resolved, do not resolve it in the system because it will be gone. Once you have confirmed that the customer, that their issue is resolved, just like when you talk to them on the phone. If it's resolved over the phone, it's resolved. If not, make sure to put a comment in there so somebody else on second shift or third shift or first shift can see how that issue is being worked and making sure that it's getting resolved. We want to make sure that we resolve customers' voicemails as soon as possible. Okay, same with emails. And you got to make sure that you reply for emails and comment for voicemails and then resolve it. So here's another thing that comes up. It says record chlorine level and pH level. Okay? This is a symbol that says you need to take a pool sample with test strips. You know all how to do pool level samplings. But if there is a video that shows how to do it, right there will be the instructions on how to do it. Once this issue has been resolved, it's like, okay, I recorded this. I updated Evernote just like the instructions told me to. Here's the pH and the chlorine levels and all that other type of stuff. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click on reply. I'm going to put in here my initials. So let's say, for example, a BP, and then I'm going to put in here that the completed task. You don't necessarily have to put completed task, but definitely put your initials on that you resolved this issue. So once again, I'm going to change the status to resolved. The number of minutes, it took me 4 minutes to go back there, grab the pool sample, come back up here, test it, write it all down. 4 minutes. I come back down here to update ticket. As soon as it replies and updates, now it says message recorded 40881, status changed from open to resolved. That's the deal. That's how it works. Ticketing main. I go back there. Guest services. Now you can see that there are 11 open tasks. Start out with voicemails, number 1, emails, number 2, and number 3 is the checklist. You know, the dailies and the monthlies. So you would start out, you can see the top is always the oldest. Work from there on down. There are some times that these tickets will back up, and you definitely need to make sure that each one of them gets resolved. Don't just assume that somebody else is going to do it. You need to make sure that you start with the oldest tickets and work off of them. When those tickets are at 0, that makes me a very happy man. So it will always fill up because every shift there will be new tickets that will be created, and as the daily checklist, as the seasons change, those tickets will vary. So obviously for Breeze Pillows, take off pillowcases from rooms 18 to 23. That is a task. We even put in there about estimate how long it will probably take. It is possible that we could have a full house all of a sudden one day, that task might take 2 or 3 shifts to complete. However, you just need to comment on it that I did this, I did this, I did this, and then the next person, I did this, I did this, I did this, next person, I did this, I did this, I did this. And then finally, maybe it takes 4 shifts to do it all. That 4th shift person would put their initials in and resolve the task. So then I can go back and I can say, okay, the last time that the pillows were Febrezed in room 22 was at this date. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to get with the manager or me, and we'll be happy to help you out. Very excited about this system, and it is live today.